Hi, welcome to Made to Print. In this video we're going to talk about Play-Doh, specifically some 3D designed Play-Doh tools that I made for my kids. You'll see, I got a little bored during the pandemic and thought I'd have a try at creating a kid's product that helps them learn about shapes and textures using Play-Doh as the medium of expression. And in this video, I'll go through the design process and show you how it turned out. Let's take a look. All right, this is the final product. This is the 3D printed parts. I used two different color plastics. I like the contrast of the green and the orange here, and I think the quality turned out really good. I'm really happy with the print. Printed on my Lulzbot Mini 2. Yeah, here's just some photos of it. I got a lot of different accessories, a lot of different textures there. It all kind of fits inside this kind of centerpiece. So here's kind of the initial concept, really rough. But I already kind of had an idea for like the color and the rough shape. And what I'll walk through here is just kind of the parts that I designed in Fusion 360, starting with the textured stamps. So for these, I created a profile, and I wanted a kind of unique shape. So I used a tool in Fusion 360 that allows you to create several different kind of cross-sectional areas. You kind of stack a bunch of sketches, and then instead of just extruding one single shape, it actually will kind of morph from a circle in this case to, or a square in this case, to a circle. So you get a nice tapered profile. So then using the multiply tool, I kind of created a grid of them, and then that became the framework. So from there, once I had this grid, I created another sketch, which I'm showing here on the screen, where I took the kind of the surfaces, or the top surfaces, and projected those into a sketch plane, and then using the vector tools created different shapes, very simple. And so you've got circles and hearts and triangles and squiggly lines and kind of what'll be like a waffle pattern. One of them's blank, and you'll see why in a second. Okay, so here I've taken the sketches and extruded them into the textures. And then for that one that was blank, I actually created a little sphere and used that. So this is kind of like a bump texture. And that looks pretty good. There they are, they're the stamps. So we'll jump over to the holder now. And for this I created a simple profile, also a sketch, and then revolved it around the axis there to create the solid. Like that, kind of like a pear-shaped thing. I don't know, just kind of freehanded it. And then I brought in the stamps and positioned them in two different levels, where I also used this kind of duplicate, like where you can create duplicates of the same object, but like around a pivot point. So I used that, and actually some of them got turned off here. So I kind of positioned them all where I wanted them, and then used the stamps themselves, or these blanks, as almost a cutting tool. So that let me, and here actually I use that. So part of the stamp is the top part. One of the stamps to kind of be, or like a smaller version of it, to be that whole handle on the top. So here I am scaling that down a little bit. I also hollowed it out. So basically I use the shell command, and it's just a really thick shell. It didn't need to be solid all the way through. I kind of wanted it to be hollow so that when the stamps cut through the shape, it would have some kind of interesting visual aspects to it. So here I also scaled the holes a little bit so that there'd be some play. And that way the stamps would fit inside, because there's always a little wiggle room you need to allow when you're having parts fit together, because there's, you know, just some play in the machinery. So if I had left it without scaling it, the stamps, if they were printed a little larger, wouldn't actually fit in the holes. So here's the rendered version of the holder, and then here is the rendered version of the stamps. And then here's my son enjoying the toy. You can see he's experimenting with the stamps and fitting them into the holes. They slide right in there. He's naming the shapes. There's a little bit of dynamics to it, so like, you know, they fly out. There's some aspects of it that kind of make it fun and interesting to interact with. Here, he really fell in love with the waffle pattern here. I made so many of these Play-Doh waffles for him.
I know, waffle here, waffle, waffle here, waffle here, waffle here, waffle here, waffle here. So it's a waffle. It's a waffle.